Now at 9, how the city of Joplin is working to address homelessness in the city. Plus, the Community Health Center of Southeast Kansas hosts an event to discuss the local impact of HIV. And Vision Carthage announces the completion of its first downtown facade improvement project.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
The city of Joplin is looking for ways to combat homelessness with a survey. KOAM Shagun Bomdali has more.
In a proactive effort to tackle the escalating homelessness crisis within its boundaries, the city of Joplin approved a comprehensive study aimed at combating homelessness.
We've recently contracted with Charity Consulting Group out of Florida to help us go through a planning exercise on how to address homelessness in Joplin and our area.
Robin explains that the city's aim is to identify the issue through trial and error.
And we're just trying to better identify what are those best practices that we can implement, what are the things we're doing well, and what are the things that we maybe have some gaps in that we can work on, and just do a better collaborative, coordinated effort amongst roughly 25 different organizations and agencies focused on this issue.
At the end of the study, the city hopes to have an actionable plan that would provide resources for the homeless, but some disagree.
But the more stuff that we keep giving to try to bridge the gap of equity, it actually traps people in dependency rather than empowering them to leave their situation of homelessness or poverty. So just handouts and welfare, those are not the answers. The answers come through faith, friendship, and a job.
Both men say it is not only Joplin seeing an increase in the homeless population.
Yes, homelessness has become a growing issue nationwide, and of course Joplin has seen some of that as well.
But it's not just in Joplin. We're talking nationally. We've seen about a 25% increase in unsheltered homelessness.
In Joplin, Shagun Bomdali, KOAM News.
The study is estimated to be an 8 to 9 month process, and it's also expected to cost $92,000. And now to weather, Chloe Arroyo joins us with the first look.
Well, this afternoon we had a lot of scattered showers and storms, mainly in southwest Missouri, but they lost all of its gas at that point, leaving us with a beautiful sunset. Here's a look at 7th and Rangeline. Joplin currently sitting at 68 degrees. Now, the folks who saw those cooler temperatures are the folks that saw a lot more rain, but off to our folks in Kansas and even Oklahoma, they're seeing those warmer temperatures along with that. So we'll see a break in the rain until we head into tomorrow night. We'll see a chance for severe weather. We have a level 2 out of 5 as well as a level 3 out of 5 for our folks a little further south. So this will be most prominent in northeastern Oklahoma and northwestern Arkansas. I'll have all the details and more coming up here in just a bit.
We showcased our new storm tracker vehicle today at Roper Kia. Guests got the opportunity to sit inside and check out the brand new Mitsubishi Outlander. On top of that, you can get a free hot dog and take pictures with some of your favorite meteorologists. Our very own Doug Hetty, Chris Warner, and Sam Lane were all in attendance and had a great time interacting with the crowd. A Carthage organization today is celebrating the completion of a project to beautify downtown. Vision Carthage has been working on its facade improvement project for a couple of years. Today, they hosted a celebration for people to check out the new facade renovations to several downtown businesses.
Today, we were super excited to celebrate our very first facade improvement program application that came in here at the Carthage Lock and Key. They were able to replace an old awning that was weathered and tattered with a brand new awning.
The renovations were funded through donations from local businesses and residents. The Carthage Salvation Army has a new social service center, and today they celebrated with a ribbon cutting. The new center comes after the merger of the Joplin and Carthage congregations, so they felt the Carthage Salvation Army needed more space to expand social service programs. On top of the ribbon cutting, there were tours, food, carnival games, and a silent auction.
We have rental assistance, we have utility assistance, we have a food bank back there, which is a choice pantry, which we allow people to pick out their own food items instead of just say, here's a box of food.
The new center is at 2307 Missouri Avenue in Carthage. A first of its kind symposium today examining an issue that's sometimes overlooked in rural communities. The Community Health Center of Southeast Kansas hosted a discussion on the local impact of HIV. KOAM's Amber Jenkins talked with one of the speakers about her research in the field.
These Southeast Kansas healthcare workers share a profession and a concern. According to Dr. Donna Sweet, rural communities lack medical resources for individuals with HIV.
About 20% of the new infections in the last year have been in very rural parts of the world. And it's harder to get care for that population out here simply because there's not as many trained providers, there's not as many resources, transportation is an issue.
The Community Health Center of Southeast Kansas' newest community will benefit from an HIV symposium, which is the first of its kind in the region aimed at healthcare workers.
They can have that framework under them and then go out into the community and discuss this and be more comfortable, more educated in how to have that conversation successfully, because there are a lot of nuances when discussing sexual and gender topics and definitely the positive HIV status with patients.
Well, I think it's important that rural America know it's not gone away. Unfortunately, there's been so many competing priorities with COVID and other things that people have sometimes forgotten HIV.
Dr. Sweet started researching AIDS and HIV in 1983. Since then, she has seen the virus go from deadly to manageable.
From being a lethal disease. In '83, 6-month survival was good. Now in 2023, if you get your medicines, take them regularly, you will live just as long as anybody else your age with the same diabetes, hypertension, depending upon how you take care of yourself.
The Community Health Center offers HIV testing with results within 2 minutes. Their goal is to give support and resources to anyone infected.
And so we've got a whole team of people designed specifically to take care of those who need some extra support, whether it be housing, financial assistance with obtaining medications, anything that would present a barrier to care. We want to alleviate that so that the patient can be their most healthy and there in turn make our community healthier.
Reporting in Pittsburgh, Amber Jenkins, KOAM News.
The symposium was held a little bit over a week before National HIV Testing Day, which is June 27th. And coming up, we'll have some tips to keep all of the dads in your life healthy over Father's Day. Don't forget Father's Day this weekend. And as we celebrate dads and other caregivers, health experts say it's also a good time to focus on keeping them healthy. Reporter Mandy Gaither has one doctor's top 5 tips to keep dads healthy all year long.
It's a rewarding job, and fathers often focus on their family, not themselves.
We tend to put our health on the back burner, or we think if we ignore it, it's not going to be a problem, and often that gets us into trouble.
Dr. Mitchell Humphreys with Mayo Clinic says health tip number 1, pay attention to your prostate. Talk to your doctor about getting prostate-specific antigen or PSA numbers checked to rule out prostate cancer.
A lot of times men think as they get older, just not being able to urinate is part of getting older, but that may reflect something else going on with your prostate.
Prevention is key. Mitchell says tip 2 is to be proactive with your health in other ways too. Get routine screenings, have your cholesterol checked, and know your vitamin D levels, which can affect things like bone and immune health. Tip 3, make small changes toward a heart-healthy diet, limiting red meat, focusing on fresh fruits, veggies, and leafy greens, while eating fewer processed foods and sugar. 4, find an exercise you enjoy. 150 minutes of moderate activity per week is recommended.
Do it with your spouse, do it with your family, but do something that you can enjoy and you can maintain and sustain.
Finally, focus on mental health. Humphrey says it's just as important as physical health.
Being in that right state of mind, being able to manage stress, to have those work-life balance, to have relaxation techniques, it's a very important part of health in moving forward.
New fathers can make a crucial difference in successful breastfeeding and safe sleep. A new survey reported on the link between the support dads offer and how a newborn thrives. The study found among fathers who wanted their infant's mother to breastfeed, 95% reported breastfeeding initiation and 78 reported were still breastfeeding at 8 weeks. Breastfeeding may help mothers avoid type 2 diabetes. In tests on mice, researchers at Yale University found breastfeeding can improve the number of insulin-producing cells in the pancreas and increase insulin sensitivity in mothers, which can protect them against type 2 diabetes later in life. Chloe is back with a complete look at the forecast, and later, the Nevada Griffins host a youth baseball camp. We'll check it out in sports.
Well, we had those scattered showers and storms this afternoon, but it's shaped out to be a beautiful evening. Taking a look at the sunset at our Indigo Sky Casino and Resort Camp just west of Seneca, Missouri. We dried out since then. We had some storms across the board, none of which were severe, but some of them were a little strong at some point. That has since faded out quite a bit. The temperatures have stayed warm on the western counties in Kansas and Oklahoma in the mid to upper 70s, but the folks who saw rain are a little on the cooler side in the upper 60s. Joplin 68, as well as Neosho and Carthage. Monette sitting at 69 degrees right now. This evening into tonight, we'll dip down into the lower 60s for Joplin, 63 degrees. And then 10 a.m., we'll see those temperatures skyrocket up into the 70s and eventually into the upper 80s heading into our afternoon. Maybe some of us topping out into the 90s tomorrow afternoon. We'll start on the dry side Saturday afternoon. So if you want to get those outdoor plans out of the way, get them done early, because later on tomorrow night, we'll see that chance for severe weather, a level 2 out of 5 and a level 3 out of 5. Now, the main thing, the timing on this, 9 p.m. to 3 a.m. The main threats are hail and wind. We also could see some heavy rain along with this, but the tornado threat, a little on the lower side, but low, not zero. So we want to make sure we're keeping aware of that. Here's the breakdown of what we'll see. This will start to form later on into the evening hours around 9 p.m. We'll expect to see these storms begin to form off to the west. We'll see them enter into the picture, the strongest probably around 9 to 11, around that time frame, so a little earlier within that time frame, but then we'll see another round after that, some of which could be strong, not as severe for this next round early Sunday morning. We'll see another break before we see more scattered storms, very isolated for your Father's Day afternoon. Sunday 4 p.m. we'll still see some scattered showers in the picture, but then Monday shaping out to be a beautiful start to our morning and an even more beautiful afternoon, and we'll continue that pattern for the rest of the week. So precipitation overall this weekend, we'll get quite a bit of rain. Columbus a little over an inch. Miami and Veneta just under 2 inches possible for this event. So as you head a little further north, we won't see as much precipitation. This will be mainly for Oklahoma and northwest Arkansas for the most part. So here's your 7-day forecast. Sunday morning, Saturday night, Sunday morning, give or take, we'll see that chance for severe storms. And then we'll be on the lighter side, pretty much sunshine Monday through Friday. And then we'll see another chance for some isolated showers maybe on Saturday. But aside from that, my goodness, it is a beautiful look to the rest of the week.
Oh yeah, for sure. Hopefully we can avoid some of those storms on Father's Day so we can get out, enjoy some fun, be out on the grill, so on and so forth. But pretty summer-like right there.
Absolutely. If you can't do it Sunday, do it Monday.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Chloe. A farmer in Oklahoma says 2 acres of his crops were destroyed in an act of vandalism. Fox's David Chesanov spoke with the farmer and has more.
My spirits are crushed.
Razicki says most of his farm looks like it's been under a chemical attack.
Devastated right now because everything that I've worked for the last several months, 16 to 20 hour days, everything, I've given up everything, all my freedoms for this farm should be upright like this, and you're seeing the top, these leaves, but they've all just laid over.
All of his sacrifices vanished overnight after Razicki says someone sprayed something over his crops.
Messing with me is one thing. Messing with my customers who happen to be my friends, I take it very personally, and it's more than wrong. It's disgraceful.
His farm feeds more than 100 families every week, but now just about every crop on his property is curled up and dying, if not already dead.
I feel like I could have lost the trust in all my customers for the future. So, whether or not I can salvage this season or not. I'm just not certain that my position as a farmer and in my career choice is going to be in question at this point.
Rozicki says what happened could cost him anywhere from $80,000 to $100,000 of business.
As far as giving up, I'll never give up. We're just going to do with the farm what we can right now at this point and try to make it better from this point on.
Coming up, we'll take a look at a way that Gen Z is keeping track of their money and its benefits. New data shows the average account balance in retirement contributions plans tumbled. Investment management company Vanguard says the average balance in employer-sponsored 401ks dropped more than 20% in 2022. Vanguard says the average account balance was $112,572 last year. That is down $30,000 from 2021. Gen Z is ditching credit cards and turning to a more old-school budgeting method. Fox Business Network's Susan Lee has more on how you can benefit.
Over here at Ramsey Solutions, we've been cash stuffing for the last 30 years. So it's really funny that this is taking over as a brand new craze.
Cash or card? A Credit Karma report finds that Gen Z adults are now ditching credit cards and turning to an old school budgeting method called cash stuffing to finance their expenses. The Ramsey Show co-host Jade Warshaw explains that this method is also known as the envelope system. People take their income for the month minus expenses, then divide the cash into envelopes with different categories, only spending what's in each envelope. Any cash left over goes into savings.
They're taking out their expenses that they've already budgeted a certain amount for, but they're taking it out in cash to make sure that they can stick to the budgeted item, and they're actually feeling the pain of these expenses.
That same Credit Karma report finding that 69% of Gen Z is using cash more than they did just 12 months ago, and that's even more than Gen X and baby boomers.
They're looking at the state of personal finance right now, and they're seeing it's a hot trash mess, right? We've got more than 67% of people living paycheck to paycheck. They see that we've got $1 trillion in credit card debt, and they're going, something needs to change. Maybe I can take control of my situation and do something a little bit better for my situation financially.
Warshaw adds the biggest benefit of using cash is that you are in control.
And we suggest putting aside, 3 to 6 months of cash for expenses, no more than that. That way, if something pops up, you don't have to rely on credit cards. You never have to rely on debt to do what your cash and your own income can do for you.
Susan Lee, Fox Business.
Up next, a young golfer is celebrating a milestone in his golfing career, a hole-in-one. We'll show you how he did it. A 10-year-old golfer accomplishing a once-in-a-lifetime moment by making his first ever hole-in-one. It happened this past Sunday during the U.S. Kids Golf Tournament at Luna Vista Golf Course in Dallas. Luke Hingson, with his dad by his side, hit the shot on the 8th hole. Moments later, you can hear the crowd going wild after they realized Luke made a hole-in-one. Man, that's pretty cool. 30 more minutes in news, weather, and sports coming your way. We'll meet a Joplin father who is not only supporting his own child, but the city's entire LGBTQ plus community. Plus how a group in Oklahoma is working to restore a historic filling station along Route 66. June is Pride Month and Sunday is Father's Day. In Joplin, one dad offers love and support to not only his child, but also the other members of the LGBTQ plus community. KOAM's Fernanda Silva has the story.
Campanella Benson was on his 40s when his kid, Ashley Benson, came out. For him, only one reaction was possible.
I always loved people. I was taught to accept people and to love them, especially your child.
Seeing that other kids in the LGBT plus community didn't have the same acceptance and support from their families, Benson expanded his fatherhood.
I met a lot of friends that were alienated by their parents. They need a dad, they need a hug, they need love. That's what we need is love. These are dad hugs. If dad don't want to hug you, get over here, I'll give you a hug.
I don't mind, sharing my dad with other people. I think that's important. I feel grateful that I'm blessed to have a father that's loving and supportive for other people, and other people call him dad, and I think that's great.
Ashley represents the L and the T on the LGBT plus abbreviation. That means that they are both lesbian and transgender.
My dad was completely supportive from the beginning. And I think that's the reason why a lot of times Dad does go to meetings, because he wants to show people that there is a parent out there that is supportive for them. They can be if their parents are not.
3 decades ago, a Los Angeles Times survey showed that 9 in 10 American adults would be upset if their child told them that he or she was gay. But views of homosexuality have changed over time. In 2015, a Pew Research Center survey showed that nearly 6 in 10 Americans would not be upset if their child came out as gay or lesbian.
There's a whole lot better now. There are more families accepting their children, accepting their brothers, their uncles. I tell her that you're an American and you're free to do what you want to do and love who you want to do, and we love you.
He's the most important person in my life. He walked me down the aisle. He's been there through everything, and so he's just the most important thing ever that I could ever have.
In Joplin, Fernanda Silva, KOAM News.
Jomo Pride Fest is scheduled to begin September 8th. A 10 and under soccer club in Webb City took on their moms last month. Now it's Dad's turn. The Southwest Missouri Prospectors hosted a Father's Day game. It was just a scrimmage, but no one was holding back. The Dads won 7-1. The Spiva Center for the Arts in Joplin is giving people a chance to learn about the Quapaw Nation. The center is hosting an exhibit in connection with this year's 151 Quapaw Nation Powwow. It tells the story of the tribe through historical and contemporary art, including painting, sculpture, traditional regalia, breading, and ceramics.
It's the first of its kind, but it won't be the last, I don't think. I think that it will be really exciting for tribal members to come in and see contemporary artwork, and then we're going back and looking at treaties and clothing, and it's something it's a new experience for a number of different people.
The exhibit will run until July 29th. There are a lot of historic stops along Route 66, and some of them have fallen into despair. Now, a group in Luther, Oklahoma is working to revive a historical filling station. Reporter Alexandria Williams has more.
I spoke with the owner of the Threet Filling Station, who says they are well underway on preserving the rich history that this place offered here to Luther, Oklahoma, and they are excited to share it with everyone.
I grew up here, okay, and from the time I was, well, as far back as I can remember, 6 years old, I've been a part of this.
And now, with the help from people across the nation, the Threet family is bringing the filling station back to its original grandeur. The State Historic Preservation Office and the Hope Crew are joining forces to help preserve and restore the historic filling station.
And this was really a safe haven for people of color, somewhere that they could come, relax, because my family owned this property, and we have over 150 acres here, so people could camp out and spend the night and just be comfortable.
Last week, they put out a call for volunteers with KOCO's Megan Mosley. Today, the Hope Crew answered that call. And with each renovation and each paintbrush stroke, they are bringing the history of the filling station back to life.
We weren't aware of this giraffe style. It's a regional style here in not only Oklahoma, but all through the Ozarks. So through our research, we learned the proper paints to use, so right mortar, how to repoint this stone, and how to bring it back to its original aesthetic look.
The Threet family wants to now turn the filling station into a museum interpretive center, allowing people to walk through and see a piece of history come back to life. They hope to have the filling station open by the month of June next year.
A bit later, using robots to improve workplace safety.
A new type of personal robot could help prevent workplace injuries. I'm Ashley Strohmeyer. That story and more coming right up.
Well, it's shaped to be turned out to be a beautiful evening this afternoon. We had a couple of isolated showers and storms here and there, but they dissipated pretty quickly as the sun set. Here's a look at our Indigo Sky Casino and Resort just west of Seneca, Missouri. The clouds actually dissipated rather quickly. Temperatures cooled down quite a bit For a lot of us in Missouri, upper 60s, Carthage and Neosho at 68, Monette 69, Stockton 68 as well. A little further to the west, Kansas and Oklahoma didn't get as much rain, so they're still a whole lot warmer into the upper 70s, even in the 80s. Independence at 80 degrees right now, Oswego at 75 degrees. Into the night, we'll see temperatures dip down into the 60s. Your low for Joplin, 63 degrees, and then we'll warm up pretty swiftly into the upper 70s. At about 10 a.m., 78 degrees. By 10 a.m. tomorrow, we'll warm up rather quickly into the afternoon, and some of us will top out into the lower 90s. But we'll start out dry, and then into later on tomorrow night, Saturday night, is when we'll see this chance for severe weather. Level 2 out of 5, level 3 out of 5. The timing on this pretty late, graveyard shift for this storm event, 9 p.m. to 3 a.m. We'll see the main threats being hail and wind. We could also see some heavy rain along with that. Now we do have a tornado risk as well, but it is a lot lower. We could see a couple of isolated spin-ups here and there. It's low, not zero, but something that we're not as concerned with in terms of the other conditions that we could be seeing. Now, 9 p.m. is when we'll start to see these storms begin to fire off in the viewing area. They'll be in central Oklahoma, firing up earlier into the evening hours, but they'll be on later on, 11 p.m. by the time it hits our area, northeastern Oklahoma. It'll clip a little bit of southwestern Missouri and Arkansas as well. We'll see the chance for strong to severe storms, and then that'll give us a little bit of a break before we see some more widespread rain across the board Sunday morning. We'll see some isolated chances for showers, not as severe. In fact, pretty much not severe at all Sunday afternoon. This will be kind of the remnants of those storms left over for your Father's Day Sunday, and then Monday we'll see even more of a break. We'll be pretty much all clear Monday morning into the afternoon hours. So we'll see quite a bit of precipitation with this, mainly for our folks a little further down south. Up north, not quite as much. Here's a breakdown of those storms. We'll see them late Saturday night into early Sunday morning. They'll continue Sunday afternoon, just a hair here and there, but you can still have some outdoor plans here and there. But above all, we'll see some clear skies Monday through Friday, and those temperatures begin to skyrocket into the 90s.
I know it's a little bit further down the line, but seeing that 95 on that potential forecast, it's making me a little bit scared because, you know, in the 4 states, we can hit those triple digits during the summertime. So
we sure can.
I'm going to enjoy those low 90s while we still can.
Yes, come late June, we may see some pretty hot temperatures.
For sure. All right, thank you, Chloe. Coming up in sports, Joplin High School star running back makes his college commitment. Plus, Missouri Southern basketball alum is going pro. John Dales has those stories and more coming up next.
The Nevada Griffins are one of the Mink League's oldest franchises. They've been around for 38 years, and today is a good example that the relationship of the team and those nearby is as strong as ever.
Yeah, Eric. One more. I gotta see a dinger.
The most important part of the game of baseball is having fun.
And having fun is exactly what the Nevada Griffins and about 60 kids from the Nevada community are doing at Friday's youth baseball camp.
Oh, I definitely look forward to it. I want to make sure, like I said, it's always about having fun, learning new skill sets, and the kids are great. The kids always great to work with. You get some funny ones, you get some more mature ones, as they get older, but that the whole purpose is having fun. I can't wait for the next one.
This opportunity to connect with the local community forms a bond between the citizens of Nevada and many of the players that are only in the area for the summer.
They get to know the kids a little bit, and then it also is good for the relationship in the community because all the parents come out there and see that the kids, these guys do care about the community as well. They're not just here to play baseball and then leave.
This camp is part of the ultimate goal of a summer baseball team like the Griffins, making a community wrapped in baseball.
And we're still early on in the summer, so moving forward, once we get into those later July days and it's really hot, and that one kid that comes up and asks one of our guys for an autograph because he saw him at the camp, it might change his day a little bit and make him want to be at the ballpark a little bit more because he wants to put on the show for the kid that remembered him from the camp.
The Griffins have another session for 5 through 8-year-olds on Monday morning. Then camp graduation is next Sunday. Joplin High School star running back makes his college commitment today. Quinn Renfro, a 5'11", 180-pound incoming senior, announces on Twitter this afternoon he's committing to South Dakota State. Renfro is following the lead of Isaiah Davis, another tailback standout from Joplin High that is attending SDSU currently. Renfro still has his senior year before heading there, and he led the Eagles in rushing with over 1,500 rushing yards a year ago. Maybe his most impressive showing was an 8-touchdown performance over Neosho in the playoffs. Elsewhere, a former Missouri Southern basketball player will be playing overseas. Christian Bundy, who just graduated from MSSU this spring, he's signing with KK Metallic Vallejo, a pro team in Serbia. Redshirt senior averaged 9 points along with upwards of 6 rebounds and 1 assist per game last year with the Lions. Bundy was a key contributor for MSSU in 2022, and he's first in program history in career games played. He also didn't miss a game each of the last 2 seasons. He's a native of Nixa, Missouri. Joplin Outlaws are at home at Joe Becker Stadium once again today. Last night they fell 7-1 to the Chillicothe Mudcats, but have another chance at them tonight. Rain kept this one from starting for the first hour or so, but eventually it did get started. The Outlaws back at Joe Becker Stadium, and after the rain, beautiful night for baseball. Starting things out in the top of the first, Chris Massey on the mound for Joplin. He gets the strikeout there. Next batter, Ben Kaspari, lines the ball into right field. That's going to get down. It's going to be an RBI single to put Chillicothe on the board first. 1-0 Mudcats. Later on in the inning, Massey in a little bit of trouble, but he gets the strikeout and is able to escape the jam without any further damage. We go ahead to the bottom of the second. It's 2-0 Mudcats, and Landon Meyer with a line drive into the outfield, but Kaspari again from Chillicothe lays out, makes an incredible catch. Joplin still looking for the first run of the game in the bottom of the third, same score. Caden Myers go to center field, but Chillicothe's defense there, they turn it into a double play. This game's still in progress at the moment. Chillicothe is up 5-2 in the 5th inning. It was real quick start for the Outlaws so far this summer, but they've slowed down recently.
Yeah, hopefully they can pick things back up. And as for Renfro's commitment, South Dakota State, fresh off of a national championship, they've been one of the perennial powers at the FCS level over the past, I guess, decade or so.
Yeah, you said it. You talk FCS football. The Jackrabbits are right there, and now, there's the Joplin to South Dakota State pipeline going.
Oh, yeah.
With running backs.
Hopefully they can keep that going. That's it for sports. We're back with more news after this. Jobs involving a lot of heavy lifting can come with health risk if not done correctly. But in the near future, scientists hope robot avatars can prevent workplace injuries and keep employees safer. Fox News correspondent Ashley Stromer takes a closer look.
In the near future, workers in physically demanding fields could have a personal robot do the heavy lifting for them. That's the hope of scientists from the Italian Institute of Technology, who are working on a new type of humanoid called ErgoCub.
The fact that it's shaped as a humanoid is to be able to work in the same space that was already designed for humans.
The robot stands a little over 4 feet tall, but engineers are working on making it strong enough to lift, hold, and carry heavy items, reducing the chances a person will get hurt on the job. Data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics reveals back injuries make up 1 out of every 5 workplace injuries.
We redesigned the feet in order to have a better impact with the environment, and we inserted also new generation of sensors inside the arms of the robot.
Scientists are also incorporating virtual reality into ErgoCub so workers can use VR headsets and gloves to control their robot through more refined tasks.
It has a LiDAR, which allows the robot to scan the surrounding environment. Then there is a camera that can actually perceive also people interacting with the robot. Then there is this OLED, which serves for making the expressions of the robot, and this is fundamental for making the robot acceptable in future work environments.
Until these robots start showing up in factories and warehouses, health experts recommend workers maintain good posture and lift with their legs, not their back, when picking up heavy items. In New York, Ashley Stromeyer, Fox News.
An Arizona boy is spending free time traveling before an illness that he suffers from takes his eyesight. We'll meet the brave young boy coming up. A 9-year-old boy from Arizona is seeing as much as he can before he loses his sight. Fox's Irene Snyder reports.
Touring around dozens of national parks, taking in the sights, the sounds, and the history.
I wanna go to Wyoming so I can see the
Keep talking.
dinosaur bones.
9-year-old Luke is determined to see as much as possible while he still can.
I want to go whale watching.
Luke is going blind. He has a rare incurable disease called retinitis pigmentosa.
We went through a period of denial and grieving, and back into denial and back into grieving, and fluctuated for well over a year before I think we both could really sit down and say, this is our reality, this is happening, and how we react to it is going to be our choice.
So the family took to the road, Luke with his mom, dad, little sister, and grandparents in tow. They started out with Ironman at Victoria, British Columbia, then heading to Olympic National Park.
And started at Lake Crescent, which was absolutely stunningly blue.
One of Luke's favorite memories in the Hoh Rainforest.
There was an elk and there was a baby in it
And tell them why that.
that was chasing everybody.
And with every passing mile, they're getting closer to a cure, raising money for their foundation, a race against blindness.
Our cause is real research that could affect people within the next year or two.
Doctors aren't sure just how quickly Luke's condition will progress, and his parents won't deny it's been tough.
It really starts to hit hard for, me as a parent, and seeing him suffer and appreciate what's going on for him. Like, he broke down the other day when we were talking about it, and
While the road ahead may be bumpy, one thing's for sure, the Johnsons will be making the most of every sight and every moment.
To have fun and see as much as we possibly can.
Best of luck, young man. And that's our time for tonight, and thank you all so much for joining us. But before you go, we'll leave you with a video of a Curacao chick at a Houston zoo. Be safe, and we'll do this all again tomorrow. See you then.